Yeah, I'm gonna go to Australia via Colorado via Germany. This is a young Australian centre back, Lucas Herrington. He plays for the Colorado Rapids, and to be honest, Stefan, what a pickup by them! They signed him from Brisbane for a very small transfer fee ahead of this MLS season, and then he, of course, he plays for Australia at the World Cup. He picked up a German passport, which can be significant depending on where he goes next, because he is going to go somewhere else next after playing a very good World Cup. His market value at the World Cup exploded. It went from when he first joined the Rapids, it was 1.5 million. It has since gone up to 8 million euros. And that is because we anticipate on the back of this World Cup, he's probably going to very rapidly leave Major League Soccer and to go to a European top five league club. He's currently linked with Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, AC Milan, Barcelona, who were first in on him. That was around before the World Cup started. And then unfortunately he played the World Cup. Unfortunately for them, he played the World Cup, and lots of other people noticed that there's a very talented centre back playing in MLS who's probably way too good for MLS at the age of 18 already. And I think, he's a meter 93, plays beyond his age already. Has shown at the World Cup stage that he can play at the stage already. Is one of the most valuable Australians. And I think he has the potential to become one of the most valuable Australians. Maybe even become one of those really, really top defenders. And if you haven't heard about Lucas Herrington yet, I think you will very soon, because the links to all those top clubs is definitely accurate. And if they are interested in a player like him, then, you just know that they're onto something, right? So, Herrington, Lucas Herrington, remember the name.
I'm just looking at his market value timeline, Manu, and it's been a really remarkable rise in the space of 12 months. Like in January 2025, he had a market value of 125,000 euros. That's when, obviously, as you said, he was a Brisbane Roar.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's made the move to MLS, it's gone from 750k to 8 million euros. As you said, obviously, a huge amount of interest in him, but is that because of his profile, or has he already shown in those 16 games in MLS that this kid's already too good for MLS? He's going to be in Europe before too long.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely too good for MLS already. It's Australia is a really interesting market. I spoke to some people that work in Australian football, and there's a lot of transfers that are currently happening between the A League and MLS, because the salaries in A League are very low and the talent pool is quite high. So A-League players see MLS as a stepping stone club for Europe, right? Because the European clubs are paying more attention to MLS than they do to A-League clubs. There's the infrastructure in the United States is far better for football than it is in Australia as well. So, young kids are willing to make this step because they instantly get a significant increase in salary. And then the level in MLS is a lot higher. And this is not my opinion. This is the opinion I speak to people, agents who work in Australian football. And now I'm facilitating all these players to go to MLS instead for their development. So it's become a really interesting market, and it's paying off. He's a great example of that. The Colorado picked him up for 900,000 euros, and they're going to make a significant transfer profit on him very fast, right? But it is definitely, I think that's a trend that you can watch. There's already been the Golden Boot scorer, Golden Boot winner of the A-League has already moved to MLS this summer, Jovanovic, right, to the San Jose Earthquakes, again, for a very small fee, and I'm pretty sure the Earthquakes are going to cash him in really quickly. But it's a trend that is interesting to watch, because I think it's going to be something that this Australia to US to Europe pipeline is something that we're going to see more often now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really interesting one. Certainly want to keep an eye on. I'm sure our listeners in England or across Europe will probably be aware of him when his name starts to creep across the BBC rumor mill or something along those lines, and you'll be able to say, "I heard that on the Market Value podcast back in July."